Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, gonna be a Patreon cast here on Circuit Breakers featuring Stork and sSak. We got Best Watching in Snow and Flash and whoever JH is. Top right, it's gonna be sSak. He is our Teal Terran player. Oh, bottom right. And in the top right, it's gonna be Stork. He is our red Protoss player. Alright, man, so it's going to be an excellent PvT here on Circuit Breakers. Lots of tanks, lots of dragoons, lots of spider mines, maybe some carriers? Question mark? Again, this is going to be a Patreon cast. That's posted on patreon.com/FalconPaladin a month before it shows up on the YouTube channel. For those of you who support me for at least $1 a month out there, I really do appreciate it. So if you're watching this on March... let's see, March the, I don't know, like 30th or something of 2023. Thank you very much for supporting me. I really do feel the love. And if you're watching this in April 2023 or later, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. I'm here 6 days a week with Brood War content. 6 days a week. What else do you want from me? Anything crazy going on here? Basically, I don't think so. Gateway on the way. Unless it's a command center first here from sSak, which would be fantastic. Like, really hilarious if that was the case. I mean, against Stork, like, how brave do you have to be to try to pull that off? But you know what? It's gotta be. He's got 300 minerals. This is not a late barracks from him, dude. And he's getting it scouted. Oh, no! The probe is scouting the right direction. Okay, this is like the worst thing that could have ever happened to sSak with this gamble. He goes to the command center first, hoping Stork doesn't scout him immediately, and Stork scouts him immediately. Oh, my gosh. So another SCV has to come off the line to keep this SCV alive. The really bad news, though... oh, is he sending... whoa... whoa, 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 whoa. He's sending more probes down to fight. This is crazy. This is amazing stuff. We got crazy worker aggression here from Stork. He's trying to make sure this command center doesn't finish. I'm not sure he can actually do that. Okay, SCV dead. Another SCV gonna go on. 2 more SCVs show up. Or more probes show up. More SCVs have to come in to try to save this barracks. Dude, Stork's like, how dare you try to go command center first on me? I'm going to ruin your entire day. And he is. He's doing his very best with it anyway. Dude, this is amazing SCV micro, though, from sSak. Keeping that guy alive was sick. SCVs are better fighter than probes, but probes can regen their health without having to be repaired by anybody else. So, I mean, at this point, I think sSak's okay. Did he pull too many SCVs or just enough SCVs? Yeah, and Stork doesn't lose a single probe to that harassment. He delayed the second base. He delayed the barracks, but that's about it. He wasn't able to really force a cancel on anything, which is kind of annoying, but... and he lost the mining time of his own. So, he's trying to even things out while he's working on Dragoons back home, because of course he is. He went right into Cybernetic Scroll like you're supposed to do. Now, bunker construction needs to start like 4 seconds ago. There we go, bunker starting. Marine production happening. Yeah, if this bunker could come up before the Dragoons showed up, that would be great. That would be so good. And bunker 3, 2, 3, 4, 50. And inside the bunker we go. Nice. So that worked out. Took a couple hits, but the bunker's up. Marines are inside the bunker. Singularity charge is on the way. And the Dragoon just needs to wait. I'm going to expand at this point. I mean, everything that Stork's done here has been very standard, except for sending those 2 extra probes across the map to delay the command center first here from our guy sSak, which is just gutsy. I really, really like it from him. Look, Stork's the better player here. He is. When you clicked on this video, you're like, okay, Stork's an amazing Protoss. One of the best in the world. Snow's probably better right now, but that's all right. Like, Stork is still insanely good. Has a crazy good resume of games and history in StarCraft Brood War. Singularity charge takes forever, and I love that third Nexus coming up here from Stork at 4 minutes. You gotta out-expand the Terran to beat him. Stork knows how to do this. Now the question is Stork gonna go for the ground army, or is Stork gonna go... look at that timing, too. He recognizes Singularity charge is done very, very soon. Like, very, very soon. So he pulls the SCVs down a little bit in advance, which I don't know that was incredibly smart, but there we go. He knew it was coming, so he's just like, I better be prepared for it rather than be late on it. 2 Dragoons firing on a bunker is pretty strong stuff. Turret coming up, preparing for the potential of maybe a DT rush coming on the follow-up. Robotics facility, worrying about spider mines, and being researched is siege mode. That's the first thing on the machine shop here from sSak. So far, very interesting game. And what else do we expect from an RJB replay? Other than really interesting stuff, right? He doesn't send me boring replays. He doesn't send me foregone conclusion replays. He sends me ones where crazy stuff happens, and that was crazy. The command center first was crazy thing number 1, and the 2 extra probes being pulled down was crazy stuff number 2. Could have to pull another SCV over to prepare this. Siege tank comes in, goes pa, pa pa, get out of here, get off my lawn, pa pa pa. I mean, he's not going to move out because then the Dragoons will jump on him and kill him. But oh, if you put the siege tank under the barracks, then the Dragoons can't target directly. That might not be a bad idea. Might waste. Oh, but siege mode is done. Dragoons, yeah, that's it. Your time's up. Ooh, doesn't take a second hit. It was very close though. So third base being mined very nicely here. It's still 40 to 36 workers. sSak is up on worker count to Stork. Not good for the Protoss player right now. Turrets all over the place, man. He's worried about getting Reaver dropped, which is a reasonable thing to be concerned about. But it's just observers for now. We might see a robotics bay. I don't see why that couldn't be in the future. Spider mines coming in, as well as Vulture movement upgrade. Going for that speed. And so far, okay, we just kind of settled down here at about the 7-minute mark. Dragoons know where the Vultures want to go, man. They were prepared. They were ready and waiting. That was sick. And maybe considering expanding up here to a 4th base, too, here on Circuit Breakers. Haven't cast a game on this map in a while, which is nice, because there are a billion replays on Circuit Breakers. It's been in the ladder map pool forever and ever and ever. It's not there now, but it was in there for, like, years. So there are just infinite numbers of Circuit Breaker replays from professional players and from lower-level players, too. Yeah, OBS goes down to the double missile turret defense here. I mean, that kind of sucks for Stork, but he did see the 3rd CC under construction, so we got that information anyway. Anywho, but yeah, we got range Dragoons, we got OBS. The spider mines are getting laid at different expansion locations of where Stork would consider expanding. The Vultures jump amongst these Dragoons, throw down their spider mines, and good micro on those Dragoons. Oh, maybe not, actually. Ow! Okay, maybe that wasn't the best micro of all time. Losing a Dragoon there when he really didn't have to. That's all right. That's okay. 1 Dragoon down, not the worst thing in the world. A probe. Ooh, a probe did die, though. A couple maybe to that Vulture. Excellent stuff. Killing his own pilot. Why is he doing that? That's weird. He's attacking his own pylon there. This Vulture Bike pilot knows he's dead. He just doesn't care. Spider Mine at the 12 o'clock dies. That's early warning for sSak that Stork's planning on expanding there. But yeah, look at... Oh my gosh. This is greed. This is absolutely greed here from our guy sSak. 3rd base landing. 4th base under construction at the same time the 4th base is warping in from Stork. This is awesome. This is some really good stuff here from both players. Templar Archives on the way. Citadel of a Dude is here. I mean, look, no matter what you're doing, you want Zealots with legs. You're going to want Storm no matter what you're doing. It all makes sense now. Even if you're going carriers, these days, mass carrier is not the strategy. But if it's an RJB replay, it's probably something from in the last 3 or 4 years or so. So in the current meta, no. You get Dragoons, you get Zealots, you get carriers. You don't just make carriers against the Terran player because the Terran player can handle it better than they could 10 or 15 years ago. And that's the amazing thing about having a game with a really robust pro scene for 20 years now, right? Is the evolution of the game over time has been so dang fun to watch. Arbiter Tribunal coming in at about 10 minutes, not incredibly fast. Not planning on going for any of those drops either. Recalls not happening. Oh, this is... Man, sSak. He's got tanks protecting all of his bases. Stork's trying to find ways to trade against tanks and just not finding any angles here. sSak's playing this extremely well. Like, I don't think he could have asked for a better opening. At 10 minutes to be on even base count with Stork, to have 67 SCVs, have 4 bases rolling, have a bajillion siege tanks. That is so good for him. Cat just some transferring probes with that scan. He sees them coming out, snipes them off. 71 to 66 workers. Man. Dragoons try to get in here. Some zealots do wander through the supply depot line, but I don't think any tanks died there. This is bad. This is bad for Stork. This vulture harass, catching probes, catching zealots out too. sSak, does he really even need to expand at this point? I don't know. I mean, Stork is going for a 5th base because he needs to out-expand the Terran for sure, but can a 4-base maxed out push work here? Maybe it could. Is Stork ready for that? He doesn't have speed for his zealots yet. He's going air weapons, and he's just threw down a fleet beacon. Okay, I think he's decided if I try to go ground in this game, I am toast. Toast McMost here. So you know what? Let's go carriers. Let's just do carriers. The scan reveals... Where's the fleet beacon? Ooh, another scan. He's looking for zealots moving out. They don't have legs yet. Where is the fleet beacon? I'm blind. You know that I'm blind, but where is it? Observatory, good. Okay, seriously though. Arbiter, Citadel, Templar Archives. Did he cancel it? Because it got... No, he's building carriers. Grr. Great scan. Sees what's out here. Sees what's up here. These zealots don't have legs yet, but they will very, very... Oh, it's up here. Oh, look at him hiding his tech up here. That's so crazy. The 2nd Cybernetics Core, the extra Stargates, and the Fleet Beacon are all there. I didn't even look there. Is there any sense? Oh, man. I don't... I mean, it's Charon boosters, and it's still making vultures here. He's trying to max out. This is a 12-minute max out right now from sSak. Incredible macro, but what else do we expect from someone at this level, right? Another scan. He's really trying to see what's going on up here. Stork trying to expand top left. There is a spider mine blocking that because sSak blocked that 18 years ago. Okay, these scans though have got... He sees a giant ground army. I'm not sure any part of him expects carriers at this point. Oh, I actually just fired up like 5 Goliaths at a time. Never mind. So yeah, he is preparing for carriers here, which means he needs to trade out these tanks and these vultures to some extent. Because you still want a few of them, because again, Stork's not going to go for mass carrier. He's going to go for the hybrid stuff. Continuing to scan what's going on out here. Like, he's just seeing the Arbiter. He's like, okay, all right. So let's get our tanks on the high ground. Let's cover this area with spider mines too. If Stork comes in here, he's going to be in a world of hurt. And here he comes. World of hurt time. Siege mode is up, friends. And the Zealots, nice flank around the right side. Great stasis on those Vultures. Vultures on the left side need to move over to the right side here. That's where all the Zealots are coming from. The Dragoons are not as much of a threat. The Zealots are. They are running. Oh, a lot of them die as they retreat. That's not a good way to die. Yeah, carriers, carriers, carriers. More of them under. He's hiding them. He's 100% hiding them. And I mean, sSak keeps scanning the middle, not seeing any carriers. He's still making siege tanks here. He's like, okay, there's still a substantial Dragoon army. This is crazy. This is such a weird game. I like it. I like it a lot. Thanks again, RJB, for sending this in. I keep waiting for him to scan something. and see the carriers or see the fleet beacon, and I just don't know that he has yet. He's firing up 5 vultures at a time. I mean, the upgrades he's working on apply to Goliaths too, so it's not like he's going to stop mech upgrades because there's carriers. It doesn't make any sense to do that. Yeah, I don't think he's even really hunting for tech at this point. I think he's pretty confident with what's going on here. Okay, these scans are as consistent, man. Consistent stuff. Yeah, DT in the general area, but I mean, that's why you've got missile turrets everywhere. DTs aren't going to do a whole lot. The carriers have revealed themselves as there's been a big siege tank vulture push up to the natural base and the third base of Stork. So some siege tanks are like, well, I guess we're going to die, so they just kind of move around. Vultures getting into this mineral line would be super hot. Meanwhile, Stork trying to bust through the supply depot line. The tanks are just getting shots off, though. Yeah, and this missile turret providing detection for anything on that ramp, especially the vultures, trying to fight against the cannons, which is fine, I suppose. Yeah, and just pulling back. Stork could not break into this 4th base at the 6 o'clock position. First sack. Of course, nothing really broke through here either. Carriers are here, 7 Goliaths at a time. Let's go. So just small groups of tanks rolling across the map to try to... This is beautiful. This is beautiful. The carriers can't be everywhere at once. The ground army can't be everywhere at once. The siege tanks with their +2 attack fire... That top left nexus dies. If this 5th base dies... Oh my gosh, one more volley. Got it! He got it! That was the last volley he needed, and bam! Holy crap, these carriers are trying to get some damage on the other side, but I just don't know if this is working, man. Yeah, carriers pulling back. It's 184 to 162 supply in favor of Stork, but he just lost his 2 newest sources of income. He's on 4 base versus a 4-basing Terran who knows he's got carriers, who is pumping Goliaths out 7 at a time. Oh, man. This is absolutely insane. Yeah, so double expanding, taking the bases that he lost in a bit of a blink of an eye here. Missile turret heaven. Well, or hell, depending on if you're Stork or if you're our guy SSak right now. Yeah, I gotta say, SSak's at a great position here at 17 minutes. The carriers are trying to do great carrier micro, trying to get to places where the Goliaths can't get direct hits against their bodies. Sometimes the Goliath count is heavy enough they're okay with just attacking the interceptors, but I don't think this is the case right here for SSak. The carriers are pulling back regardless. Great engagement here. Dragoons are all dying. I mean, they're just trying to get rid of the... Yeah, forcing the tanks to siege up. And if the carriers can win this thing here... I don't know. There's still a bunch of Goliaths. That's a dead carrier if ever I saw one. Yep. He just got absolutely target fired, sniped down. Ooh. Okay, center being held here by SSak, but Stork is retaking the top left bases. This one's going to warp in any second now, and there it is. Yeah, DT's just kind of sharking around down here, trying to see if there's a base they can snipe. This bottom left 5th base that SSak is trying to go for could be a pretty big deal. Carriers are focusing on the tanks because if the tanks get in range of bases, bad stuff happens. I don't know that the interceptor count is super healthy on these guys. Yeah, I mean, look at they're all trying to produce interceptors at the same time. Stork doesn't have much money in his bank. SSak's at 4,300 minerals in the bank, but only 100 gas. That's not great if you're trying to remax on Goliaths and whatnot here. Is that another carrier down? Yeah. Zealots are at the mix. Zealots are trying to get this thing done. Such a tough battle here. The Goliaths are pretty good against Zealots, but man, these Zealots are tanky boys. The friendly fire tank splash is really hurting some of the Goliaths too, but a bunch of them do remain. All of them are pretty healthy. 10 of them here do remain. Siege tank maybe firing on that Nexus, reinforcing units coming up from the south. Tanks and Goliaths being produced here, recognizing the hybrid nature of what Stork's going for. It's a hybrid response here from SSak. 154 to 146 supply in favor of Stork, but he's on defense. The defense hardcore right now. The Forge is working on additional shield upgrades, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nexus getting focused, and parking tanks on the ramp. This is why Circuit Breakers is such a good map for Terrans. It's because these ramps make beautiful parking spaces to take out the 12 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock. Just how close do you have to park your tanks to get the base? Your answer is the ramp at all times. You're not saving that Nexus. Nope. Not at all. Stork has some really nice carrier micro here. 2 upgrades on the Goliaths. It's 2 attack and 2 armor right now for the carriers. This unpowered forge is working on a shield upgrade, but until it gets repowered, it's not going to finish. And I'm not sure that's ever going to happen either. Ooh, Goliath's getting some... Oh, nice body shots. Another carrier dies. This is so good. DT still messing with the attempt of sSak to get a 5th base down here in the bottom left. Super annoying stuff. Finally gets wiped out. I'm not sure if he got any kills at all, actually. Stork trying to make sure that sSak doesn't expand over this way while he's not looking. These siege tanks, they accomplished their job. They're not even going to try to run. But the 12 o'clock base for, actually 12 o'clock and the 3rd base here of Stork's get wiped out. So 2 bases at a time. If I had to place money on this game here at the 21-minute mark, I would give it to sSak. He's played this extremely well. Got away with the command center first. Got away with double expanding effectively to a 3rd and a 4th base very quickly. Has killed 4 Nexuses of Stork's today so far. Was able to see the carriers in time to do something about it. Oh, this is so good from sSak. Like, I don't know. Sometimes these games, you think Terran's OP? Sometimes you feel that way on ladder. You think Protoss is OP after a game like this? That's the thing. At the pro level, I'm not sure any race is OP. I think everybody is very, very good at StarCraft, and no matter what you are, you can beat anybody else no matter what race they are. Bit of an attack coming in here too. Again, this, oh man, Stork's replacing the 12 o'clock, but if this 5th base of his dies, he's still got the 6, but if this base dies again, that's a problem. The carriers are all the way down in the bottom left here, trying to kill sSak's 5th, and they should be able to because no one's in position to stop this at all. Does that turn it into a bit of a base trade scenario? I would argue that it does. Great stasis on some of these siege tanks. The other tanks, they need to be firing on these Dragoons. Don't worry about the cannons or anything else at this point in the game. Yeah, so this base gets wiped out, obviously. Carriers are sneaking down here to the 6 o'clock base of sSak's as well. Holy snakies. Dude, is this, I mean, are we full on base race? Is Stork just being like, screw it, let's go. Let's try to kill all the Terran bases before all of my bases die. RJB is not... He does not mess around in sending me incredibly replays. A bunker full of Marines is not bad against this situation, but not, like, enough, really, to handle this many carriers with these upgrades and these many interceptors, right? Carriers might have gotten a little bit trapped down here. Goliath doing some nice long body shots. Carriers just trying to sneak along the bottom side of the map here. A couple of them are pretty... one was really ripe for the picking. It gets wiped out. But Goliaths are dying too. It's not free. Siege tanks. Probes fighting. Probes fighting. Ah. He's set up in range of that cannon. Weird stuff. So the carriers make it out after wiping out one of the bases of sSak. Another attack on the 12 o'clock, but enough zealots can shut this down. Yeah, no vultures really, because vultures are no use against carriers. It's got to be Goliaths, and they're not as good against vultures as the vultures are. It's just tough. Yeah, I don't know. sSak, he's mining out quickly here, and Stork still has bases mining. Partially because they've died, and they were put on pause there. I'd love to see sSak try to expand on this right side at the 3 o'clock. I guess he's just going to try to expand here. Again, it's really gas that he needs, though. Yeah, there we go. Expanding bottom left. That's going to be good for him if he can do that. I like this. Little vulture attacks running all over the place. Because the carriers are slow. They really suck at tracking down big vulture just run-bys and stuff. Double expanding sSak. Bottom left twice here. So retaking the 5th base and getting a 6th base as the natural in that bottom left spawn. Vultures are throwing spider mines down. Vultures with their 3 attack are pretty good against cannons. That's the thing about cannons late game against Terran is not as good. Kind of the same thing with Lings. Although Lings are really good against cannons even if they don't have any upgrades at all. So it's yeah. It's kind of just late game cannons bad generally. All static defense is pretty bad generally. I mean, it's nice that cannons do benefit from shield upgrades. Oh, did he finish that? He did! He finished the shield upgrade. That forge didn't actually die. Amazing stuff. So it's 2-1-0 upgrades for the ground here. That's a lot of Goliaths marching up, man. And then 3-1-2 upgrades for the carriers themselves. Yeah, I don't know. This top left base dying. That might just be the end of it here for Stork. Ah, these vultures getting back here. That's a very injured cannon. They're focusing on the probes, not trying to take the cannons down. They're sacrificing their lives for Raynor here, I guess. I don't know. Whatever lore you want to put in this particular match. Yeah, so they wiped out a ton of the workers. It's 24 workers for Stork. Dude, remember when I was like, Stork is probably the better player here, but sSak's going to play hard, and sSak is just, he's kind of been in control the entire game. Losing this 5th base is the worst thing that's happened to him so far. He has not lost a base other than that today. He hasn't really gotten an army completely wiped out without giving as good as he's gotten. The carriers are swinging down this left side, and we're going to repeat the death of that base except times 2. 6th base going to die. 5th base going to die. I mean, what does he do? Do you try to save him? They say never base race a Terran, but carriers exist, so that's not really viable at this point. Yeah, carriers got to back off after getting the 6th base, but the 5th base lives because the Goliaths decided to go and try to save it, which is cool. Spider mines everywhere. Stork's like, I am so sick of having to kill spider mines whenever I want to send my Dragoons anywhere across the map. 12 o'clock getting wiped out by vultures. That's embarrassing. Is that it? 187 to 151 supply. More probes dying. 23 workers here. Stork worked so hard to get that number up and then just lost a whole bunch of them. Vultures, some of them escaping even and not getting punished for their crimes. Oh, leaving some spider mines behind too. Yeah, vultures take down a nexus. That should never happen, ever. This army needs to decide if they're going to defend this bottom left corner or if they're going to wipe out the top left and win this game. Stork's only down about 50 supply, well, 40 supply here if the math is accurate. Siege up. Obs down. Scans continuing to happen here. Yeah, this looks like a Terran win. Insane. Like, truly insane match here from sSak. One of the best games I've ever seen from him. I like him, but I've never had him in the top tier of Terran players. But look at this guy go. He's just taking it to Stork. Stork's doing all the rage, hybrid, carrier, ground army stuff, gateway, Stargate stuff here. Here's our engagement. He's trying to go for it. The carriers back it off, trying to avoid the direct hits. But by golly, that Goliath count is insane right now. There are so many of them, and they're barely injured either. I guess these carriers are moderately healthy, but man, look at him swinging down this left side again. Just trying to keep sSak away from this top left-hand corner if he possibly can do that. Oh, splitting the Goliaths up here and here would be so brutal. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's just like, whatever. So these carriers can defend. That's another cancel on a base, I think. Yeah, Archons, they're not going to do super well. Not against Goliaths and siege tanks. Historically. Yeah, man. 160 to... that's it. GG! Stork taps out. It was like 160 to 50, 60 supply. Something terrible for Stork there, and sSak gets the win. Again, nothing incredible. An incredibly good game there from sSak. Holy smokes. Insane. Like, really, really impressive stuff there from our guy sSak. I don't know what to tell you. Hit that like button, man. Once he got that command center first up, it was delayed, but he got it, and then he double expanded to a third and a fourth, and at that point it was like, oh, so he's just maxed out on siege tanks and vultures and stuff. And I think that that point, Stork really had no choice but to go carriers. He wasn't going to deal with a maxed out tank vulture army. Woof. Woof, woof, woof. And then, yeah, it was just the Goliaths kind of keeping the carriers in check, having enough siege tanks, enough Goliaths to handle whatever ground army Stork had, and that's the win. Man, he killed how many Nexuses today? Killed this twice, this once, this twice, I think. Man, he was everywhere. Good stuff. 252,000 points there from Stork. 257 from sSak. Producing similar numbers of units, but sSak killed more units than Stork did. Buildings raised 36-19. Both players took their hits there with buildings, but then sSak did get outspent, but only by about 5,000 resources in 30 minutes. That math's not going to add up for sure. So GG, like truly a good game from our dude sSak. More games from him in the future, I guess. But just let's go. Let's go sSak. And that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War, a remastered and a Patreon game. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.